Hi, everyone, and welcome to Empower Her Every Day, a series where we talk to alumni who continuously empower women wherever they are. My name is Ashton Smith. I'm a current junior and former soccer player here at Rice. I'm so excited to introduce Shannon Wright, a 2004 Rice track and field and cross country alumni. She is currently enrolled in law school at UH and the president of the R Association. So happy to have you here, Shannon.
Thanks for having me, Ashton.
Very excited. So today I want to ask you a series of questions about your experience being a woman in sport. First, I just want to ask how your overall experience was of being a female student athlete at Rice in the early 2000s.
Yeah, that's a great question. I had a wonderful time as a female student athlete, and I think most of that was because I had really supportive coaches. So my head coach, Victor Lopez, started the women's program in the early 80s. And then my event coach, Jim Bevan, had been there since, I think, the mid 80s and is now the head coach of the Rice women's track and field team. So both of those coaches were really committed to Rice athletics and committed to empowering women. And because of their influence and their leadership, I had a wonderful experience. They were very supportive. They were very concerned, not just about our athletic development, but about our development as people. And I think that had a huge impact on me.
Great, thanks. That's awesome. So another question is, how did you handle any challenges with, say, mental health or body image issues when you were at Rice and beyond?
Yeah, so in 2004, we didn't talk a lot about mental health issues. There wasn't the focus that there is now. So that was something that certainly there was a lot of pressure being a student athlete. I'm sure you felt that. And I had some anxiety issues with, performing, which I kind of just worked through on my own because, again, we didn't talk about those things. But
Right.
Body image, certainly in cross country and track and field, was a huge issue. And that was something that everybody on the team was aware of. And it was something that not just my teammates and I, but our coaches were very careful in how we recruited people. Because if there were folks who already had clear issues with eating disorders, that was something that could be a negative influence on the team, because I think all female athletes feel this pressure to have a certain kind of body. And if you have people who are taking that to an extreme that's unhealthy, then I think that can impact everybody else. So we were careful if we noticed that a recruit only ate grapes that weekend, that recruit didn't get an offer to come to Rice, no matter how good they were. But certainly it was a struggle, and it was something that I really appreciated that my teammates and I had an open conversation about. And if we noticed that somebody maybe wasn't taking as good of care of themselves as they should have been, that they were working out too much or they weren't eating enough, then we kind of called each other out on that, and I think helped each other to work through some of those issues.
Right. Very community-based, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had a great team.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess you mentioned that you worked through some of those issues on your own. What was one way that you were able to do that?
Yeah, so back then I read a lot of books about sports psychology to try to help me work through some of the anxiety around performing in competitions. And that was helpful for me because it gave me like different strategies that I could try. And we competed every weekend. I'm sure you play in a lot of games. And so you have lots of opportunities to kind of develop and hone those techniques. So that was something that I worked on throughout my 4 years at Rice. And I feel like by the end, I had a pretty good handle on it because I got so much practice at using different techniques to help myself stay calm, stay in the moment, and be able to perform.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that insight. Anyone watching, reading books, it's great. So I guess next, what's your experience as a woman in general society in the workplace? I know you're in law school right now. How is that going for you?
Yeah, in law school, it's going really well. Our class is actually majority female. It's a little bit different for me as a gay female because I think the way that I present myself in society is maybe a little more masculine. My hair's a little long right now, but before the pandemic, this is my hair not having been cut in a year. It was very short. So I present myself more in a masculine or androgynous way that I think for women is not what's expected by society. And so that's a little bit of a challenge with older folks. So professors, for example, or people out in the workforce. But with my classmates who are mostly younger than me, it doesn't seem to make a difference at all. And, with a lot of people, I think they've done some work to accept that people express their gender in a lot of different ways.
Right.
And I think I've benefited from the work that people have done.
That's great. Yeah, awesome. Well, more specifically now, how did you become the president of our association? That's a huge deal. And can you tell us a little bit more about what your role entails as a female?
Sure. So I love the R Association. I have been involved with the board now for, gosh, it's been 10 years, which is kind of crazy. Started in 2011. And the kinds of things that we do for Rice Athletics are, one, we try to recognize and empower our current student athletes. So we sponsor the Student Athlete Academic Awards banquet. We sponsor the Hall of Fame, which is for our letter winners. And we have a number of initiatives. We used to do a graduation breakfast. Of course, graduation has changed in the last few years, but there are a number of different things that we do to try to empower our current student athletes. And then the other side of that is connecting letter winners back with campus. So we're focused on both the student athletes who are there and the people who've already graduated and helping them feel like they're part of Rice. Rice Athletics has been around for a really long time. And I think the different eras have had different experiences. My experience in the WAC conference was very different from older alumni who were in the Southwest Conference and very different from people who are competing in CUSA. But there's something that connects us all, and that's that Rice experience. And so it's bringing everybody back and helping everyone feel a part of Rice Athletics. And as the president of the R Association, I get to do stuff like this. I get to represent the R Association in various capacities. I don't really have any extra roles other than being a figurehead who gets to lead our meetings and represent Rice and Rice Athletics. So it's been a lot of fun. And, I wish my term had been more in person this last year. My term started in May of last year. So I have one more year. And I'm hoping this next year we'll get to do some more stuff in person. I'll get to be at Rice Athletics events again.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We really appreciate having you and having that our association, definitely from a student athlete aspect. So thank you so much. So last question. This is a big one. How do you empower yourself every day and those around you?
That's a great question. And I think it goes back to that community that my team and I had at Rice, is that I try to find my people wherever I am. So in law school, I have a group of people that are, they're my people. For whatever reason, we've connected and we all get along very well. And we support each other and reach out to each other and call each other out on stuff. But I do that in every area of my life, is kind of find that group, a small group of people that I can really invest in and that they can invest in me. And I think we all make each other better that way.
That's fantastic. Yes, definitely community-based. I love it. And what women supporting women is always a great aspect. So
Absolutely.
awesome. Well, thank you so, so much for being with us today. And audience, thank you so much. And we'll see you next time on Empower Her Every Day.
Thank you, Ashton.
Thank you.